Hey, it's Dr. Gupta. Probably the reason you're watching this video is because you were told by a dentist that you either snore, you mouth breathe, or you grind your teeth. You do something that's associated with breathing and your airway when you sleep at night. And what I found out over the course of the last few years is that when we don't breathe and we don't breathe optimally during those 7 to 8 hours in which we're supposed to be sleeping, it's incredibly insidious to our overall health. When little kids can't breathe when they sleep at night or they do a poor job breathing, its ramifications include things like having ADD diagnoses, behavior problems at school, bedwetting, snoring, restless sleep, stunted growth. And then as adults, if we go into adulthood and we never conquer the breathing while we sleep problem, that results in a much higher likelihood of developing a stroke, a heart attack, developing diabetes, of developing Alzheimer's as we get older, or just dying earlier. And it's all about how we breathe. It's all about our breath. Yes, you can go and join a gym and work out. Yes, you can change your diet. Yes, you can do better with your relationships. And those things are going to make your life better. But if you don't at the same time work on your sleep and your sleep habits, you are leaving out a huge chunk of potential health improvement. Now, here, let me just show you. Here's a picture of me, right? Now, if I took an axe and I cut myself right through, now what you would see is basically the same picture of me, only with the front, maybe 1/3 of my face cut off. And this is so important. That little piece of meat, it looks kind of like a mushroom near the bottom, is my tongue. You see that little pink mushroom? And then on either side of my mushroom, my tongue, is my molar teeth. So now you have some perspective. There's my tongue. And just above there is my nose, my nasal airway. So if I were to cut my nose off, this is what we would see. That's my nasal airway, my nasal sinuses. And breath that comes through my nose is so much of a better, high quality breath than the breath that comes through my mouth. I mean, we think it's the same, right? I'm running or I'm walking fast and my mouth pops open and I breathe in through my mouth. That's the same, right? No, it's not the same air. The breath that comes in through my nose is much better, higher quality air. And this is why. When we breathe in through our nose, that air doesn't go straight down into our lungs. That air gets trapped in a maze, a labyrinth of what's called our nasal sinuses. That air goes up and it fills in these nasal sinuses. And inside of these nasal sinuses, 4 things happen. Number 1, that air gets transformed from outside temperature air to the temperature of our bodies, 98.6 degrees. So now the air we're exposing to our lungs isn't cold air anymore, it's the air of our bodies. So the air gets warmed up. Number 2, that air gets filtered because inside of those nasal sinuses are a bunch of tiny little hairs that filter out all the crud. So that air now gets filtered. Number 3, that air gets moisturized. Because see, air out here, especially for those of you who live in drier climates, the air out in the atmosphere is dry. The air that our lungs want is moisturized, is humid air. And so air that's coming in through our noses is humid. And number 4, that air that comes in through our noses gets mixed in with a gas called nitric oxide. It's only the cells of our nasal sinuses that release nitric oxide. And nitric oxide does one major important thing. It relaxes our arterial blood vessels. So the reason we get heart attacks is because our blood vessels get constricted. What nitric oxide does is it relaxes the arterial blood vessels. Actually, when you get chest pain and you're about to have a heart attack and you go to the emergency room, the very first thing they do is they give you an exogenous nitric oxide under your tongue. This is the same exact thing, only you're producing it in your body. But you can't get it unless you breathe through your nose. Breathing through your nose, much higher quality air. Breathing through your mouth, much lower quality air. So how do we make it so that we breathe through our nose every night? Couple things. Number 1, we got to breathe. When we go to sleep, we got to breathe with our mouths shut. Mouth shut, our tongue smashed up against our palate, maintaining an open airway. If you don't know how to do this, there's a lot of tips, and I have a bunch of those tips on the website, www.northridgevillefamilydentistry.com/sleep, or you can just talk to your physician. Now, if you can't get your tongue to smash up against your palate, allowing your nose to bring in high-quality air, then maybe it's time to talk to a healthcare specialist. So, real quick, let me type in my contact information. Not my contact information, but at least my website, so that you have it. www.northridgevillefamilydentistry.com/sleep. Now, at least you'll have some information of ways that you can just tonight do a slight change in your routine to maximize the amount of nasal breathing you get when you sleep every night. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.